I'm planning to build a small ADU this summer in Oshawa, Ontario. Have you ever wondered why making a tiny house or a small building meet passive house standards is way harder than doing the same for a big one? I mean, smaller should mean less work, right? Well, not exactly. In fact, small buildings face some bigger challenges. Today, I will break it down into three major reasons. First up, let's break down the surface to volume ratio. The smaller the building, the more exterior surface area per unit of indoor space, which means more heat loss. Let's compare two box-shaped houses. One 10 by 10 by 10 feet house versus one 20 by 20 by 10 feet house to see the difference. The formula is simple. Surface area divided by volume. Let's take a look at the small house first. Surface area is 6 sides times 100 square feet each, then 600 square feet. Volume 10 times 10 times 10 equal to 1000. Surface area volume ratio is 600 divided by 1000 equal to 0.6. What about large house? Surface area 4 walls times 200 square feet plus top and bottom 400 square feet. In total 1600 square feet. What about volume? Volume 20 times 20 times 10 equal to 4000. And surface area to volume ratio is 1600 divided by 4000, which is 0.4. See the difference? The smaller house has a higher surface to volume ratio, meaning it loses heat faster per unit of indoor space. The larger house with the lower ratio retains heat better, making it more energy efficient and easier to keep warm. In our example, the smaller home has 50% more surface area relative to the larger home. This is why bigger buildings have an easier time meeting passive house standards. Next, let's talk about heat gains. Passive house use heat from people, appliances, and the sun to stay warm in winter. But small buildings, they don't have as many people or appliances inside, so they don't get as much free heat. That means they have to work harder to stay warm. Now, let's talk about airtightness, ventilation, and precision. Three things that become way trickier in a small house. Passive houses need to be super airtight, less than 0.6 air changes per hour at 50 pascals. But in a small home, every tiny leak has a bigger impact, making airtightness harder to achieve. Ventilation is another challenge. Systems need to be perfectly sized. Too big, they waste energy. Too small, they don't work properly. Getting it right in a compact space is way harder than in a big building. And finally, windows. In larger buildings, window placement can be adjusted to balance heat gains and losses. But in a small one poorly placed window can cause overheating in summer or heat loss in winter, making high-performance homes much harder to achieve. So, as cool as tiny passive houses are, designing one is a serious balancing act. Every detail matters, from airtightness to window placement, because small mistakes have big consequences. I am both nervous and excited to build my passive house ADU. Wish me luck. If you find this content interesting, hit that like button, subscribe for more building science deep dives, and let me know in the comment, would you take on the challenge of building small passive house? See you next time.